With protests against the police continuing around the country, one local police department is counting on its youth outreach officers to connect with the community and tackle tough topics like police brutality. We first told you about the new outreach program at the Orlando Police Department when it started several months ago.
Now we're seeing how one officer is getting results, getting through to troubled teens because he used to be one of them, and the police department changed his life. Only News 6's Eric Von Anken has the story.
Our youth today, because of everything that's happening, they say, hey, you're not like me, you're not from where I'm from, but then I can say, I am.
That's what makes Darius Barker the perfect youth outreach liaison. He grew up in the historically black community of Parramore and got into trouble at Evans High School.
They knew I wasn't a troublemaker, but I was just hanging around the wrong crowd.
He says a persistent school resource officer kept making promises about graduating and college and a job, finally convincing him to join OPD's youth mentoring program.
I just tried it out and I ended up loving it. I ended up getting some great advice from different people.
And all of those promises came true. Barker discovered the Evans High School marching band as a drum major, and that took him to college.
Full ride, dance scholarship. Yep, to the film equipment.
What's up, fellas?
And now,
hey, man, listen, y'all can be relaxed,
Barker is an Orlando police officer and a mentor himself.
I grew up in a bad neighborhood, but I was never biased.
One of the newest liaisons at OPD's new youth outreach program, connecting with the concerns of kids.
That George Floyd incident, to be honest, I feel like that could have went a totally different way.
We want our children to know that they're here to protect you.
Pastor Daniel Ings partnered with OPD and the youth outreach program when he founded Boys to Men Mentoring in Parramore. Several times a week, the pastor picks up the kids and brings them here to the Orlando Repertory Theater.
We're way more cautious now with what we do and how we do it.
To hear life lessons and real talk from people like Officer Barker, the police liaisons build trust, offer guidance.
I'm all done, fellas. Appreciate y'all, man, for listening.
And try to solve small problems before they can become big.
So we may have kids, juveniles, pulling on door handles. And so our job is to go in and find out why are they pulling on the door handles. So we got to change what you're doing. I was like, what do you need help with? And he told me what he needed, and he said nobody has ever asked him what he needed help with.
And Boys to Men told me about one young man in their program who wants to be a truck driver. So they mentioned this to OPD, and it turns out that OPD's youth outreach coordinator used to be a truck driver. So he hooked him up. He got this young man enrolled in truck driving school. He just had his first class a few days ago. In Orlando, Eric Von Anken getting results, News 6.
Eric, thank you. And right now we are asking for questions for our panel for our series Real Talk, a Candid Conversation. Next week's Town Hall conversation is on equality in schools. There are groups of students who face additional issues in the classroom based simply on their race. News 6 is ready to talk about it. You can submit your questions for our panel by going to clickorlando.com/Real Talk. Our Town Hall will be next Wednesday night, September 9th at 8.